we go across or under? Under?
Tēnā koutou, me noho tātou. Please be seated. Kia whaikaroria ai ihoa ki Rongarawa, kia maunga rongo ki te whenua me ngā whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Tēnā rā koutou, nau mai haere mai. Ai te tuatahi, ka huri oku whakaaro ki a koutou ngā manu hiri tuarangi. Haere mai. Haere mai I rongi te moana nui a Kiwa. Ki ngā karanga a te kuia nei. Haere mai I rongi ngā karanga ngā maunga, ngā karanga awa hoki, me ngā Pākihi whakateke teko o Waitaha. Haere mai nei, ki o tautahi, ngā wahi a ngā tupuna nei o ngai tuahuriri, rātou katoa ngā hapu o Waitaha. Haere mai, piki mai rā, kake mai rā. Ka huri au ki o tātou tini aitua, rātou kua haere atu ki te pō. Noho mai rā te rangi Māria, ka huri. On behalf of Ngaitau and the Runanga in Canterbury and the Banks Peninsula, it's our great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf and with the University of Canterbury. We know it's a great time of celebration, and for the tribe it's an important year of harvest. So to you all, and in particular our guests from overseas, what we usually do in our welcome is to welcome you on behalf of our ancestors, the mountains who stand inland. So to all of our international visitors, welcome. To the people of Christchurch and New Zealand from the tribe, greetings and our acknowledgement. And to those of us who carry the sorrows of our past and our ancestors with us, our tribe always acknowledges that and extends its greetings and acknowledgements. So to all, from Ngai Tahu, from the Māori community in Christchurch, a short and brief welcome. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa.
Manu tiria, manu eria, ki te poa taraka, kata re, kata I uni, e tau e koia. Koia, kota riki, ki mai, ki maui, e hara I te pitu, me te maru e tau e koia. Koia.
Nō reira, kāpiti hono tātai hono te hunga mata ki a rātou te hunga ora ki a tātou. Piki te ora, piki te kaha, o piki te māramatanga.
Ka tangi te titi, ka tangi te kaka, ka tangi hoki a hou, ti hei Māori ora. Ro rangatira mā, no mai, piki mai, haere mai ki te whare wānanga o Waitaha. No reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. I welcome you to the University of Canterbury and invite all present to stand, remove trenchers, and join in singing the Māori and English versions of the first verse of the national anthem as in your program and displayed on the screens behind me. seated. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to this University of Canterbury graduation ceremony in my third year as your elected Chancellor. Your university is in good heart and its spirits are rising further. Even as a little over a month ago, we acknowledged that 3 years had passed since the most devastating of the earthquakes which befell us. You could feel in the air not just the usual buzz and excitement of the return of our staff and the arrival of our students at the start of the new academic year, but you could also feel a renewed sense of confidence in the future of our great institution. Confidence built on the hard work, dedication, and resilience of our university community, which has enabled us to deliver throughout full years of teaching and research, graduating students in record numbers, often with higher than usual results. Confidence reinforced by the now evident signs of progress on all three fronts, which we had early on identified as representing our most immediate and greatest challenges: the fixing of our damaged infrastructure, the rebuilding of student numbers, and returning the university to financial viability as soon as possible. Confidence then given an enormous boost by the government's decision announced by the Prime Minister on Ilam campus in October to invest $260 million new money in the University of Canterbury to enable a complete rebuild of our engineering precinct and the development of a completely new regional science and innovation centre, as well as maintaining the government's funding grant for teaching at previously agreed levels for up to 5 years. Taken together, these developments compound our hopes for a better and brighter future for UC and give conviction to the sense that we are regaining control of our own destiny after the most extraordinary period in our university's long history. We have been given the tools, and we can now get on with the jobs. Beyond calamity and the immediate challenges of recovery, the strategic vision for the university we had set before the earthquakes and reconfirmed in their aftermath, the vision of a world-class learning environment attracting those with the greatest potential really to make a difference, seems now very much on the path to realisation. So much for the future. Some of you graduating today will have started your university careers with UC before the earthquakes. Significant numbers of you, I would imagine the clear majority, are of a cohort which has, in your time here, known nothing but natural disaster and its consequences. The experience of those years and that time makes you very special and will distinguish you for life. You chose to come to stay with us and to tough it out. The university, in response, at times under the most difficult of personal and professional circumstances, redoubled its efforts to honour the commitment it had entered into with you. The outcome is that there will always be an aura about the graduating classes of 2013 and 2014. You and your cohort will go down in the long and distinguished annals of this institution as perhaps the greatest we have ever known for resilience, for courage, for determination, and at the same time compassion and caring for each other and caring for the wider community. Whatever your individual path to this place, now is the time for celebration and congratulations to our graduands. It is the time to acknowledge your talents, your commitment to the goals you set yourselves, and the disciplines you imposed upon yourselves, in many cases, years ago. This is the time to celebrate not only your hard work, but also your resilience, because gaining a university qualification never comes easily. This is an occasion our graduands will remember for the rest of their lives. I hope that from time to time they recall not just today's triumphs, but also the setbacks, disappointments, and doubts they encountered and had to overcome to be here, ready to graduate today. Our greatest admiration goes out to those graduands who found ways to manage the challenges of our recent everyday life here in Canterbury and the competing demands of study, family life, and a working career. We especially acknowledge those for whom university once seemed a daunting prospect, something out of reach, an impossible dream. This might have been because of a disability, because they had tried already and failed, because they had not studied in many years, because English was not their first language, or simply because they were the first down all the generations and centuries of their family to have both the desire and the opportunity to go to university. I was one of those, and I know that many of you are too. It is a time as well to acknowledge and thank the two most important groups who have contributed to the success of our graduands: the university faculty, those lecturers, tutors and support staff who gave so freely of their knowledge, time and assistance, and those family members, whānau and friends who supported those graduating today, the ones who offered practical help and encouragement in times of stress and anxiety. They were critical to your eventual success. Let us note as a community and as a nation how much we will benefit from the achievements of our graduands. They have the greatest potential to make a difference. They will contribute knowledge of the latest research and development in their field. They take with them the ability to think on a higher intellectual plane. And as they depart, they leave us with the electric charge of success, which is so critical to the reinvention of the university. Many will become leaders in their professions. All will work in the service of humanity. Many will go beyond our shores. I know that wherever they choose to work and settle, they will use their new skills to contribute to the making of a better world. Wherever they live and work, today's graduates will be University of Canterbury alumni. They will remain family and become part of our worldwide community of scholars, well in excess of 100,000 strong and comprising a global supportive network. We look forward to maintaining contacts with them and welcoming them back home whenever they choose to come. It is time now for me to say the words which, under law, give effect to the highlight of our celebration. As each of our graduands comes forward, let us call to mind their work, their commitment, their tenacity, the determination which have led to this, their special moment. I now convene a ceremony of the University of Canterbury for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas. In the name of the University of Canterbury, I, Lionel John Wood, Chancellor, now confer degrees in this university upon those who are about to be presented. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rod Carr, to introduce those who will present the graduands.
I call upon the Associate Dean of Postgraduate Research, Professor John Harding, to present the doctoral graduands.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduates for the conferment of degrees. David Raymond Brinson in Health Sciences. Yun Xiang Shen in Chinese. Anna Adelaide Wood Clayton in Religious Studies. Odelle Adrienne Louise de Comeron in Education. Jubilee Turi Hollis in Religious Studies. Brenda Allison McKee in Media and Communication. Catherine Ann Solomon in Education. Catherine Louise Tapper in Education. Judith Ariane Williams in Education.
I now call upon the Dean of the Faculties of Humanities and Social Sciences and the Creative Arts, Dr. Alison Griffiths, to present the graduands in her faculties.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees. Stephanie Frances Borthwick. Yanishka Sarah Elizabeth Khan. Timothy Mark Connell. Jenna Kate Guest. Tennille Patricia Humphreys. Gregory William Hines. Ivan Ivanovich Ignatov. Jessica Jane Roche. Amy Victoria White. Master of Arts, Paul David Rodden. Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Daniel Scott Bonnet. Joanna Marie Christenhuis. Laura Elizabeth Korn. Melanie Sarah Coulter. Hannah Ellen Doak. Michelle Jane Downs Woolley. Bella Josephine Alice Field. Günther Glading. Carrie Michael Graydon. Gemma Hartley. Emma Louise Hyde. Madeline Rose Jones. Catherine Alexandra McDonald. Richard John Nesbitt. Connor Graham Guilford. Hannah Mary Ross McAlpine. Tam John Rowe. Carolyn Ann Stanton. Natalie Joanne Van Looy. Dale James Wong. Bachelor of Arts with Second Class Honors, Division I. Rebecca Catherine Abey. Beverly June Ballantyne. Rebecca Rajiv Bendre. Grace Susan Carr. Sean Michael Hickland. Olivia Rose Quant. Julian Michael Phillips. Amber Lee Trower. Bachelor of Arts with Second Class Honors, Division II. Matthew Ian Kelleher Malcolm Stevens. Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Music, Emily Ruth Songlian Wilby. Bachelor of Arts, Amelia Lillian K. Amos. Benjamin Madhav Leo Anderson. Jessica Lynn Andronico. Imogen Elizabeth Armstrong. Bria Chantel Leela Babington. Samantha Ann Bagri. Renee Gabriela Balcazar Cruz. Matthew James Bargent. Liam David Bartholomews. Oliver Murray Baxter. Philippa Mary Bridget Benton. Catherine Mary Bolton. Marcus Michael McDonald Booman. Alexandra Sophia Mary Broom. Georgina Chris Carey. Hannah Lily Caruso. Mue Chen. Leonard Ashley Claridge. Katrina Ann Clark. Mike Gordon Cooling. Chloe Rose Coots. Frances Ann Cox. Philip John Roy Cummins. Kirsten Olivia Curry. Megan Jane Davies. Tessa Jazz Rosanowski Davies. Heather Ann Dewar. Madeline Emily Dixon. Julia Grace Dreesens. Terry Louise Dunn. Leith Marie Edwards. Celeste Faithful. Amber Micalia Fletcher. Esther Carol Fortin. Marella Eugenia Glavash. Diana Kathleen Rita Golding. Hannah Bridget Greenwood. Hazel Madeline Guion. Qudsia Saima Hafiz. Nahuia Lorna Harney. Sarah Jane Hendry. Kate Frances Rose Hewitt. Amy Michaela Holland. Matthew Philip Holstein. Christopher Ian Rongamate Otaku Ariki Sullivan Houghton. Courtney Jeanette Hunt. Taylor Jade Hunter. Vanessa Claire Ide. Anna Louise James. Olivia Sarah Lucy Jourdain. Emir Kafedic. Zach Lee Knight. Kyle Terry Knowles. Anna Louise Mary Ladd. Jack Edward Lane. Ruth Ann Cecilia Larson. Patricia Laura Leary. Jacinda Lim. Vanya Eleta Luell. Emily Kate McFarlane. Claire Helena Mary McCallum. Chris Cameron McGillivray. Isla Mary McLeod. Lydia Joy Mearns. Scott James Miller. Amber Elise Neal. Jeremy Levi Neiman. Jessica Ann Noble. Anthony Stewart O'Connor. Thomas Paul O'Flaherty. Stephanie Orchard. Luis Andres Patterson. Lucy Sarah Pierce. Olivia Joanna Rose Phillipson. Sarah Merlin Platt. Abdul Karim Pour Hamzavi. Emily Rose Powdrill. Alexandra Marie Quinlan. Isla Kate Foster Rackham. Emma Nicole Riak. Michael Ian Richards. Rebecca Ann Forbes Robinson. James Michael Rodborn. Michelle Diane Rogers. Tracy Queenie Arahia Brewery.
Kia ora koutou. My name is Steve Weaver, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, and it's my pleasure to introduce the musical item this morning. Last year, the University of Canterbury Chamber Choir was reformed and named Consortia. Its inaugural concert was held in the Transitional Cathedral. This year, the choir is 35 strong, and as a new initiative, we have also established a vocal consort of 16 singers. Today, some members of Consortia, together with some School of Music staff, will sing two pieces for you. Yesterday, by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, arranged by Roger Emerson. And John Wells' arrangement of Now Is the Hour. The soloists in Yesterday are Sophia Good and William Frost.
Say
Bachelor of Arts. Belinda Robin Seward. Rachel Mary Shackleton. Kate Shirley Shapiro. Mason John Shaw. Millie Sylvester Thorne. Peter Edward Cecil Simmons. Rebecca Kate Simpson. Jessica Ann Sletcher. Bianca Jasmine Smeeks. Ethan John Smith. Xenia Daphne Smith. Naomi Spinsby Wild. Saskia Tamsin Steenkamp. Claudia Jane Stevens. Emily Louise Connor Stevenson. Taylor Jean Stewart Harris. Grace Rere Ariki Tepua Teiva. Ryan Leslie Thomas. Zhifeng Tian. Laura Eve Tippin. Mi Phuong Tran. Amy Nicole Trembeth. Arohi Vadnaka. Naomi Victor. Letitia Kelly Wardhaw. Shanice Persephone Werty. Nicole Jane Wilkinson. Helen Eliza Zecker Winks. Alice Frances Whisker. Philippa Jane Wright. Leah Mariana Wynyard. Master of Social Work Applied, Malcolm Allen Gooch. Bachelors of Social Work and with First Class Honors, David Norman Betts. Jody Milne. Anna Ruth Wilkes. Bachelors of Social Work with Second Class Honors, Division II, Karen Michelle Hollows. Philippa Lois King. Holly Ann Sinclair. Bachelor of Fine Arts with First Class Honors, Clara Manon Wells. Bachelor of Fine Arts with Second Class Honors Division 1, Ida Eliza Bates. Bachelor of Fine Arts with Third Class Honors, Natasha Sue Wong. Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science, Madeline Rose Mortio. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Selena Ruth Andresund. Alexander Charles Armstrong. Thomas Robert Hazard Barrow. Isaac Beckett Knight. Jody Francesca Carney. Vanessa Louise De Silva. Fern Beryl Douglas. Gemma Louise Elkin. Hung Yi Fang. Belinda Joan Franklin. Victoria Elizabeth George. Emma Michelle Gledhill. Sarah Kathleen Griffin. Emma Nahwai Hipongo. Amy Lee Hollins. Eliana Joy Clausen. Christina Sarah Cohenhoven. Kate Louise Matson. Hillary Elizabeth McConnell. Stephanie Marianne McEwen. Harriet Rose McIntosh. Alice Catherine McClay. Rebecca Ann Margaret Newman. Virginia Clementina Nichol. Allison Claire O'Malley. Ellen Sophie Plank. George Peter John Pope. Meg Louise Porteous. Hannah Dawn Alice Robinson. Martin Sagadin. Ashley Dawn Simeon. Eleanor Jane Taylor. Brogan Louise Turner. Michelle Corinna Wesenberg. Claudia Jane Wood. Bachelor of Music with Second Class Honors, Division 2, Joy Cho. Bachelors of Music, Andrew John Bell. Michelle Amor Cole. Hillary Alexandra Hayes. Carolyn Sarah Irons. Love Leon. Luke Edward Noble. Rachel Louise Van Wicken.
I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Julie Mackey, to present the graduands in her faculty.
Sir, I have the honour to present these graduands for the conferment of degrees and the receipt of diplomas and certificates. Master of Education with Distinction, Stephen Matthew Coffey. Master of Education with First Class Honours, Pamela Elizabeth Hunt. Masters of Counselling with First Class Honours, Tina Louise Duff. Kay Jennifer Henson. Master of Teaching and Learning, Elizabeth Jane Costa. Master of Health Sciences with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Arno Gruber. Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Pamela Margaret Boyle. Postgraduate Diploma in Health Sciences with Merit, Marlene Josephine Officer. Postgraduate Diploma in Child and Family Psychology and Master of Science with First Class Honours, Teresia Gobind. Postgraduate Diploma in Child and Family Psychology and Master of Science with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Emily Mary Exeter. Postgraduate Diploma in Child and Family Psychology, Victoria Jane Newcomb. Postgraduate Certificate in Tertiary Teaching, Sarah Louise Masters. Bachelor of Teaching and Learning, Primary, Elise Michelle Wadsworth. Bachelors of Teaching and Learning, Early Childhood, Sarah Elizabeth Baker. Philippa Beth Bown. Carla Brooke Churcher. Amanda Jane Crook. Jessica Amber Cross. Leanne Emery. Gemma Margaret Etheridge. Caitlin Helen Hanger. Zinzi Raj Jacobs. Hayley Megan Kennard. Jessica Charlotte Moore. Catherine May Presas. Bachelor of Education and Graduate Diploma in Teaching and Learning Secondary, Benjamin Joel Hart. Bachelors of Sport Coaching, Jonathan Charles G. Adela Veronique Knottenbelt. Brendan Ryan O'Connor. Robert Newton Smith. Gareth Robert Sutton. Graduate Diplomas in Early Childhood Teaching, Judith Berry. Rachel Leanne Fickling. Catherine Alice Gash. Nicola Diane Lepine. Kendra Margaret Grace Liggett. Shanshan Liu. Yulia Lorraine Martvitz. Juliana Martvitz. Joseph Patrick McMahon. Fiona Catherine Peterson. Abby Ray Smith. Margaret Grace Stent. Diploma in Children's Literature, Carol Ruth Duffy.
Vincent Ward, a graduate of the University of Canterbury School of Fine Arts, is one of New Zealand's most celebrated filmmakers, screenwriters, and artists. His films have received critical acclaim both within New Zealand and overseas, and are known for their strong visual and atmospheric elements. His first feature film, Vigil, 1984, was also the first New Zealand feature film invited to enter the competition at Cannes Film Festival. It won the Grand Prix at the 1984 Prague Film Festival and the Madrid Film Festival, and the awards for the Best Cinematography, Best Production, and Best Screenplay at the 1984 New Zealand Listener Awards. His next two films, Navigator, A Medieval Odyssey, 1988, and Map of the Human Heart, 1993, were also invited into Cannes. Navigator won more than 25 national and international awards, including Australian Film Institute Awards for Best Film and Best Director. His 1998 film, What Dreams May Come, starring Robin Williams, received an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Mr. Ward has been making films since 1977, when as a student he made an adaptation of Janet Frame's novel A State of Siege and a documentary In Spring One Plants Alone, 1980. Remarkably, both films began receiving international recognition even before he had graduated from the University of Canterbury in 1979 with a diploma in fine arts. A State of Siege went on to win the Miami Film Festival against a large group of professionally made and budgeted feature films, and a Silver Hugo Award at the Chicago Film Festival. In spring, One Plants Alone won the Grand Prix in Paris at the Cinema du Riel Film Festival and a Hugo Award at the Chicago Film Festival. Both films were internationally acclaimed by critics and had theatrical releases in the US and New Zealand. While based in Hollywood in the late 1990s, Mr. Ward developed the initial story for Alien 3, executive produced the Academy Award-nominated film The Last Samurai, which starred Tom Cruise, and directed the historical epic River Queen. His most recent film was Reign of the Children, which premiered at the Sydney Film Festival in 2008 and won one of the largest film festivals in Eastern Europe against 250 other entries. He is also a successful visual artist and recently turned to exhibiting paintings, prints, and cinematic installations. His recent exhibitions include a solo show at the 2012 Shanghai Biennale, Wehi, Where Fear and Awe Collide, 2012, at the Mark Hutchins Gallery in Wellington, and Inhale, Exhale, 2012, at the Gus Fisher Gallery and the TSB Bank Wallace Arts Centre in Auckland. Mr. Ward received the New Zealand Order of Merit for his contribution to filmmaking in 2007. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Vincent Roger Ward for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa.
I guess I better put my hat on. Thank you. I want to thank the university for conferring this award on me. It's a huge acknowledgement, and for me it's a little bit like coming home, coming back to Canterbury. I want to acknowledge my lecturer, Maurice Askew, who tolerated me during that time, and Paul Miller, head of school of the Department of the Humanities. I've been asked to talk here, so I go back and try to remember my own attendance at the same ceremony so many years ago. What did the main speaker talk about? I have no idea. Who was the speaker? No idea. What do I remember about the ceremony? Nothing. Do I know if I even attended? No. So what chance do I have that you'll remember this, even allowing for the fact that each of you, no doubt, has a better memory than I, and in your own ways, talents that I can only guess at. What can I hope for? What will you remember? Perhaps a residue of an emotion left from your feelings of success at this point, and the satisfaction that you sustained your hard work and brought it home with talent and discipline. And now are acknowledged for the few moments of this ceremony and the time when parents and friends salute you, and I salute you, for the achievement. And for a moment you get to savour that and acknowledge it. It will have to carry you a long way, and it's such an important moment. Well done. It's no mean achievement. No earthquake can destroy you. No mountain of mud can submerge you. No disruption will dissuade you. What is remarkable is that so few people left the school, left the university during that time. And incredibly, the markings for people went up during that time. It signals the re-emergence of Christchurch and the reformation of the new school of the humanities and a new growth in the university as a whole. It's an acknowledgement that you stayed to finish the course and that we can build on your courage. That many of you helped with the cleanup while still completing your papers says a lot to me about what your core values are. And what and how you learn is somehow at the very centre of this city now and the dream of what this city will become. So I acknowledge you again. What do I know about staying the course? What did I learn about it back when I was your age? In my first month in Christchurch, I bought a motorcycle. I was a fresh-faced boy from the country, not used to riding in the city. Then I took it for a spin on Beeley Avenue, thinking it was a one-lane street. I turned from the middle lane and smashed into a bus. The bus was left with barely a dent. I survived the accident, my bike not, and of course, ironically, it meant catching buses from then on in. I was a fairly hairy, ridiculous-looking, as you can see, fine arts student, and quite frankly, it's a miracle that I'm here right now, for a multitude of reasons. I don't remember being a student as an easy time, but what I do remember is failure, and that is the brief subject of this address. Because I see failure as strength, even as we celebrate your successes. I failed my second year, although achieved the highest marks in the practical, obsessed as I was with filmmaking and not theory. It made me bitterly depressed, so I made a very well-researched film on attempted suicide, consistently asking my comrades about what would be the best way to achieve this end. They thought my questions curious and funny, and in retrospect, so do I. But at the time, I didn't. From that bitter depression, from that sense of failing myself and my parents, and especially my father's hopes and dreams, I tried to push myself through. Perhaps that second year allowed me to get to know the depths of my own self better and to have the freedom to explore creatively with lowered expectation. But at the end of that year, with resolution, I left Christchurch and started living in Wellington. I was just determined that I would make something I could be proud of, that I could not go lower in my own sense of self-esteem. I felt pushed down with no idea whether I had the drive or reserves to push back up. If I was to continue, I would need to draw on personal reserves I doubted I had. I remember the flat I stayed in Wellington, ironically called Kensington Palace. I slept next to, not a beautiful woman, but a stripped-down Norton Commando in the living room, laying in pieces around me. A mysterious flatmate named Hoss was said to sell drugs to school children in the dead of night, but we never saw him. And a cousin with a black room with phosphorescent lighting that lit up like the glowworm caves, and stories about that room which I cannot share with you. At a 21st birthday party, my own, when none of the invited showed up at all, I remember standing there by the window until near midnight when my brother, finally off from the ships, came by to cheer me up. I learnt a little thing. Don't be a casual Kiwi about organising people. It would come in useful as a film director. I was broke. I did live in a dump. I had failed. But resolve is sometimes more important than success. I was still officially at art school and had struck a deal with Morris, my lecturer, in that I just seldom, never really had to attend, except so long as I delivered a movie. With my friend and fellow student Tim White producing, I directed a story from Janet Frame's novel, A State of Siege. I would return to the School of Fine Arts periodically, so broke that I did not have a place to stay in Christchurch, and would sleep secretly on the campus. Hidden in one of the small rooms, at night I remember the torch of the security guard roaming into and over the room I was in. I would freeze, lying on my mattress on the floor, the flash of light coming in through an interior window and brushing past me. The guard testing the lock of this anteroom, which I had braced a chair against from the inside. First thing in the morning, I would stow my kitten mattress in the cupboard, head out for a bit of air after my lecturer had arrived, and I, innocently whistling, would arrive to begin my day, apparently afresh. Again that year I failed. This time it was psychology. Ironic, given the strong psychological content of Janet Frame's book, and that later my work would be taught as part of the med school in Dunedin. The film went on to win various awards, and I continued, but I didn't know that then. I went to the Uraweras, living in an abandoned shack. I made a film about an elderly Maori woman, but due to her age and sense of self, she could not always easily stomach having my small film crew there, so 6 weeks would go past and she would kick us out. I was deep into my honours year, which, given the old Maori lady's schedule, I could see that I was not going to finish. The Kuia's schedule was definitely quite different from the university's, and so was mine. And suddenly it turned into 2 years, and then towards the end of the second year, I was still having troubles completing it. I was out of my depth, and for almost all that time, I was away again, in the bush, in the Uraweras, or living in Wellington. The film was well received, long past my honours, which was not glowing like so many of yours, but was like a B or a C, or I don't even know whether you're allowed to pass and get lower than that. So what does all that mean to you? I think it celebrates a course of learning where you make huge mistakes, and a course of learning that goes on from here on in and never stops, where you fall on your face, where you stay the course, and go for those things that interest you and have meaning for you, while still having to balance a living and getting by. That failure is an okay option, as sometimes failure can lead to enterprise, and no entrepreneur, or for that matter, inventive filmmaker, is without a string of failures or enterprises not fully realised. And by trying things, you find a more unique and hopefully personal solution. So I ask you only one thing: do not be afraid of it, and in failure we find our character. Our lives are made more through it than through success. I hope this wonderful success you've already achieved will give you courage that no experience, no learning is ever wasted. Cherish risk and adventure if you want authentic creative experience. The knocks are more important than the successes. They help you strip yourself down to the essential and what you want and what you need. And I hope you'll be part of something unique, and I wish you well. And instead of perhaps being a follower of others, instead of being completely led, entirely that is, by the financial, these things, money and interesting experience and people, not by direct intent, but by legacy, just follow you. Trust yourself and go well. Thank you.
Dr. Vincent Ward, on behalf of all of us, thank you very much for your personal insights, your contribution, and your honesty today. It has been appreciated. As we bring our formal ceremony to a conclusion, it remains for me to do two small things. One is to personally acknowledge on your behalf and as the Chief Executive of the University the enormous effort and contribution the academic faculty and staff of the University have made over the last 3 years to help and support you in achieving your mission to be here today and to graduate from the University. I thank them on your behalf. And with you today are those parents, siblings, supporters, grandparents, guardians, who also, by being here today, acknowledge that they are proud of your success and obviously have provided you with support and encouragement. A university is, after all, a community made up of its staff, its students, and its alumni. You will go today leaving this hall as alumni of the University of Canterbury for the rest of your lives. I would ask that we stand and sing Gaudeamus, the words of which in the Latin, and for those who want to follow along in English, are in your programme. And then if I ask that you remain standing while the stage party leads the graduates from the auditorium. Please stand.